Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? And welcome to the Just Chatting Gaming News and Trailers for August 16th. This year is flying by. Got a few news stories and a bunch of trailers. We got some more stuff on Gotham Knights, some more stuff on Marvel's Midnight Suns. Where's Charles Boyd going? More game delays and all that fun stuff. So, let's jump into the first news story. And that is Guild Wars 2 is finally coming to Steam next week, meaning you can finally just buy the whole thing up front. Frankly, I thought Guild Wars 2 was already on Steam. Apparently not. It's one of the few MMOs that I have not played. I've always heard really good things. But yeah, finally coming to Steam. Be interesting to see what that price tag is on that. But yeah, pretty cool for them. Might have to check that out. We'll see. Next up, Disney has announced a games showcase, and I believe this is going to be part of D23. It's also going to feature Marvel stuff, and so basically the breakdown of this is they are going to be giving an update on Star Wars games, Marvel games, and basically anything else that falls underneath their library. Indiana Jones, Pixar, might see some new stuff from Skydance. So we will be covering that live on the channel on September 9th. In addition to that, here next week, we have Gamescom opening night live, along with a couple of other shows, which I will also be covering live here on the channel. So basically, we have like a little mini E3 coming up here. So we can keep an eye open for all that stuff. The opening night live, they've already announced that show is going to be 2 hours long, so pretty cool. It's also hosted by Jeff Keighley. Going back into the realm of games getting delayed, we have more. So Deliver Us Mars has now been delayed to February 2nd of 2023. This is the sequel to Deliver Us, like, to the Moon, I think was the first game. Always heard good things about that game, and the new game looks fantastic as well. Evil West has been delayed until November 22nd, 2022, saying that they just need more time on that one as well. It's weird. The fall is really starting to thin out, which is pretty crazy, and the spring looks just bonkers right now. So we'll see what happens with all that. But I know there's a lot of Star Wars fans, SWTOR fans, BioWare fans in chat who are wanting to know where Charles Boyd is going, and he finally announced that he is going to Skeleton Key Games, or Skeleton Key. And this is a studio that is partnered with Wizards of the Coast. He's also signed on to be their creative director, so odds are they're probably going to do some kind of D&D RPG or something along those lines. It should also be noted that Skeleton Key is being run by another former member of EA BioWare, Christian Daly, who was in charge of the Dragon Age team for a while. And there's also some other members of the BioWare team that has joined this particular crew. So to me, this looks like another case of people at BioWare and EA just getting tired of what's going on there, and they're like, we're just going to make our own studio, essentially. So it's going to be interesting to see who else jumps on this team. Like, I could see somebody like Eric Musco or other people from BioWare Austin, or even the SWTOR team, jumping ship to be part of this deal. Because Charles Boyd and Christian Daly were both very well liked. So it's going to be very interesting to see not only what happens with the studio, but what is going to be their first game and all that fun stuff. So yeah, very, very cool. Skeleton Key being based out of Austin, Texas. Let's go ahead and jump into the trailers. That's all we got for news. We'll go ahead and we'll start out with the sort of the big trailer. We've been watching these Marvel Midnight Suns gameplay reveals, and we have another one, and this is always one of the characters that everybody wants to see. So let's see what we got. Here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another superhero showcase for Marvel's Midnight Suns. My name is Christopher Odd and I run the channel by the same name. As always, thanks to Marvel and 2K for partnering on this series. Now, time to get serious. Does the name Weapon X ring a bell? How about the Berserker? Or maybe you know him by the truly terrifying moniker, the Canadian Can Opener. Just joshing, eh? Made that one up to keep you on your toes and make sure it's known that I share my nationality with today's superhero. A man with one of the darker backstories of those we've covered so far. That man is none other than James Logan Howlett, or as you probably know him, Wolverine.
You got one thing right today, Sabretooth. Heads are definitely about to roll.
Is that Steve Bloom?
You may have some assumptions about Wolverine's playstyle, and you might be right about some of them. But, to clarify, he is focused on using his adamantium claws to chain damage between multiple targets. He'll taunt enemies, and most importantly, he's got a nice little self-healing mechanic, but there's a twist in there. More on that later.
Okay.
Like other superheroes with chaining, he makes for a fantastic recipient of combat items and other buffs that he can use.
Yeah, just team up Wolverine and Blade.
And squads with Wolverine are really going to benefit from somebody who deals high single-target damage. But Wolverine does have a few cards with a mechanic we haven't covered yet called Full Combo. Let's get into that first. The first attack we're going to explore is one of Logan's chain attacks called Lethal Pounce. Now, obviously, hitting multiple targets with one card is great. But you know what's really great? Options. What if instead of using your chain to hit multiple enemies, you really just wanted to punish one of them? Full Combo's got your back. If you choose to use all of Lethal Pounce's attacks on a single target, then you're going to gain Strengthened, which boosts your damage by 50%. Pretty solid opener, if you ask me. If you decide it's better to take out multiple minions, that's also a job well done in my book. All in all, this card's a solid staple for a Wolverine deck, and the upgrades will grant even more damage. If you see on screen here, one of the late game mods can add Weak to your enemies. If you got something like that, you may want to share the love and ignore Full Combo. Just depends on the scenario. Again, options are nice. Now in the intro, I mentioned that Wolverine can self-heal with a twist. Well, if you spend enough time with him in the Abbey, you'll be able to unlock and upgrade his passive called Healing Factor. Just be careful when you're hugging him, or actually just be careful around him at all times. The claws aren't toys, I'm serious. At level 1, his passive is going to trigger every time you use Redraw on a Wolverine card, and that's going to grant you some health. At level 2, it's going to grant even more health, which keeps him alive significantly longer. Starts to feel truly unkillable. And speaking of that, the twist. In Midnight Suns, you get 1 or 2 revives every fight, depending on different factors like combat items, etc. Well, Wolverine, he doesn't go down easy. And if he does, he's not staying down for long. If Wolverine does go down, you'll immediately draw the Rapid Regeneration card, which allows you to revive him. But hopefully you've been planning ahead, because you're going to need 2 heroism for it. And although the card doesn't use up a card play, you're only going to get this card once per combat. So don't get too comfortable out there. In the Dark Phoenix saga, Wolverine once said, "Okay, suckers, I'm taking your best shot. Now it's my turn." I feel like this perfectly sums up Wolverine's whole vibe. He's an angry tank, but without block. Instead, enter Rapid Healing. It's not just a heal, it's got another twist. Of course, playing Rapid Healing will restore 50% health to Logan, but it will also cure him of any other negative status effects. Well, what's the twist here? Remember, Wolverine doesn't go down easy. So even when he's incapacitated or unable to act, he can still play this card, which normally would not be the case. That's insane. Oh, we're not done. It can also be upgraded to replenish 75% of his health. Oh, and it can gain +1 redraw as a potential late game mod. Oh, and it generates heroism. Yeah, it's pretty good. Speaking of heroism, notice how most of his abilities have really low heroism cost? Let's hear your thought in the comments about who would pair well with Wolverine and take advantage of that heroism buildup based on what we know so far. Now, wait a second. Do you guys smell that? No? It smells like one of my favorite skills in all of Marvel's Midnight Suns. That's right. Stink of Fear is here. Besides having quite literally the best animation in the game, the actual gameplay implication smells beautiful too. Stink of Fear will taunt every enemy in an area and grants Wolverine counter. You get a claw.
Wow.
You get a claw. Everybody gets a claw.
That's a crazy move there.
On upgrade, you'll be applying weak to every enemy you targeted, and one of the potential late game mods could grant your squad an extra move on the turn. I just want to play the animation for you one more time. Okay, I'm done. Okay, for real. Now, we talked earlier about Wolverine not using a lot of heroism, and while that mostly holds up, Logan's Midnight Sun's heroic ability is the exception to that rule. Midnight Special scales with how much heroism you have when you play it. When played, all heroism is going to be consumed, and you'll see Wolverine damage random enemies. How many times enemies are damaged is determined by the amount of heroism that you spend. And as he continues attacking, he continuously does higher amounts of damage. The upgrade for this is great too, because you'll be able to refund heroism for each knockout. And one of the late game mods can even add weak.
He seems really OP.
Uses for this, but pick your timing wisely, because this card will be exhausted when played, as we've seen with other extremely powerful cards. So that's our Canadian on the squad, and I'm proud to say he's representing us really well. Keep it up, Logan. Wolverine will make for a great addition to many squads. I think he's going to be a fan favorite, to be honest. Thanks again for watching these videos, everyone. If you're not subscribed to the Marvel's Midnight Suns channel or my own, what are you waiting for? You don't want Logan to be angry, do you? We've got a lot more content to show you between now and the release of Marvel's Midnight Suns. It's been an absolute pleasure showcasing Wolverine today. My name is Christopher.
So I'm just going to mention here real quick, for those who don't know, this game got delayed with an unknown release date. But the fact that they're still releasing these videos as part of their marketing tells me that I think it's still probably coming out this year. Otherwise, they would have quit their marketing on this. It's just kind of weird to me that they would delay it with no date, but they're continuing their marketing on it. So, I don't know. It's kind of strange. But yeah, that game continues to look great. I believe the next hero that they're doing is Scarlet Witch. So we should have the video for that here in just a couple days. Moving on from one kind of superhero to another, we have the big unveil for Fortnite. Normally I wouldn't watch this, but this one we got to watch. Fortnite, this game's just crazy. I don't like all the things that they're doing. It really is. Now they got all Dragon Ball Z in Fortnite. You can just use Kamehamehas now. Oh, they're gonna do a fusion. All right. Last time on Dragon Ball Z. All right, next up we have a release date trailer for a game called Railbound. We've already seen this game once. This game popped up during Summer Game Fest. And I know they did a demo for this, and from what I've seen from other people, everybody thinks this game is really cool. It's one of these like little simple indie games, but it's got like just the right theme to where, like I said, people think it's pretty cool. So let's see when it's coming out. So yeah, it's like a puzzle game where you got to figure out the railroad tracks and cars and stuff. I don't know if this is something that I would play or not. This is kind of one of these weird ones where I'm like, I don't know if I'd like it or not. What? Time out. $6,922 or $9,620. What? This trailer literally came out today. But we're past both of... Oh, no. Okay, so it would be reversed. They're doing like a European thing. It'd be 9/6 is when it's coming out, not 6/9. Okay. You confused me there for a second. All right, next up, we have the cinematic launch trailer for Roller Dome. This is another game that we saw during Summer Game Fest. This is the one where it looks like Sable, but it's like a skater shooter of some description. I know SkillUp did a review and several others. I've seen like really positive things about this. But when I looked on Twitch earlier, like nobody was playing it. So it could be a game that people are just not realizing is coming out. But yeah, here's the cinematic. Oh, and by the way, that Call of the Hunter game that I showed you guys, it's not getting good reviews. Kind of looks like an 80s cartoon. Available now. Sweet. All right, 3 trailers left. So this is another one that we also saw during Summer Game Fest. And I don't know if we're going to get a date for this or not, but apparently this game is coming out in 2022. I know after Summer Game Fest, this game got a lot of hype. And so they did another trailer for it. So let's take a look at it. I think this game looks really cool. Hey, it's a Lego game. So yeah, this one is like a Lego builder adventure game. Yeah, where they give you like parts and then you got to figure out what to do with them. I think this is a really neat idea. No date yet. All right. But yeah, that game looks cool. All right, 2 trailers left. This is a game that I don't recall. It's a release date trailer for Ship of Fools. I don't know if we've seen this one. I don't recall the name. Let's take a look.
Product not yet rated.
Is this a co-op survival builder? What is this? Oh, it's like fighting and stuff. Oh, that's a cool monster. It looks like it's a roguelike as well. September 22nd. Alright, that could be good. Alright, final trailer of the day. I don't know if JT has seen this one. I think JT is going to be quite interested if you've not seen this. We have Gotham Knights Red Hood gameplay, and they're showing off apparently some new features. So let's take a look.
Gotham Knights may have 4 characters to choose from, but in truth, there are dozens of ways to make them fit your chosen playstyle. In this video, we're going to show you just this, with gameplay of 2 completely different high-level Red Hood.
Now, first of all, I think this is this is the first gameplay that we've seen that actually shows the full HUD. Let me hide my camera here for a second, so you guys can see all the HUD.
Builds.
We made the decision, the Gotham Knights collectively were working together, and they were reflecting this notion of the Bat family. So our Red Hood, we wanted him to be aligned with the intentions of the rest of the family in that sense. He's still an angrier person, especially at the start of the story, but we wanted them all to be on board with the general notion that we are in walking the path of Batman after his death. All of them are on board with the non-lethal strategy. So the marksmanship is kind of self-explanatory. It's really about dealing more damage at range. Red Hood is our most range-focused character out of the Gotham Knights, so a lot of his abilities focus on, I have guns with non-lethal rounds, and I would like to make them as damaging as possible while remaining non-lethal.
I'm going to stop right here. I'm immediately seeing something that I don't like. So we know this is a big open world RPG. There's no mini-map. Instead, they're doing the directional thing at the top. I don't like that. That's not that's not good.
Heads up. I know that one hurt. There. That's it. This is it.
Something else to pause here for just a second. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna move my camera. So we got the D-pad options down there on that left side. Looks like up is your bike, right is your heel. I wonder what the left and the bottom are. The left looks like a chat. Is that so? I guess if you're doing multiplayer, you can chat with your peeps. And then over on the right side, you've got your standard config for, it looks like, abilities. Okay.
That's how that works. Bet they wish they never got out of bed today.
The Brawler skill tree is about melee combat, but more importantly, it's about powering up the fact that Red Hood is our largest character, and he's got the best grab and throw mechanics in Gotham Knights. That's a really, sort of brutal hand-to-hand focused skill tree. So if you're into that style of play, it's a great place to invest early to get the most out of Red Hood.
I don't think they've shown skill trees yet.
Taking your business elsewhere.
Looks like there's a buff bar that I'm covering up. You can kind of see it a little bit here. There's buffs that are like coming and going as he's doing combat. I wonder what the bar on the right side is down at the bottom. Is that like a finisher combo bar? Because this must be health bar here. Yeah, it's not really showing enemy health.
That was just a taste of the different ways you can build out your chosen hero in Gotham Knights. Stay tuned later this week where we'll be digging into skill trees and how they work.
Oh,
For
cool.
more from our Gotham Knights IGM first, check out the first 16 minutes of game.
So Ron Allen says, looks like similar gameplay as Spider-Man. Yeah, so they actually refer to it as the Arkham combat system. There was a game that came out, and you know what? I should stream this game one of these days because it's really, really good. But Arkham Asylum was the game that came out that essentially invented that style of combat. So the Batman games have been using this combat system for years. And then they used it in Spider-Man. Basically, the Spider-Man game kind of made it better, I guess is the best way to say it. I wouldn't say this is better than Spider-Man. It's probably on par. So yeah, it's a system that was created for that first Batman game many a years ago. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. That game continues to look really good. I just hope it is. For those who are watching on YouTube, that'll go ahead and do it for the video. So thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time.